Indiana Central Standard Time, which for us is gold time. I am Glenn Gary, and I'm joined by my partner in productivity, Mr. Matt Ross. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Mike Harris, I'm from the Treasury, but I am joined by my partner in productivity, Mr. Tim Marriott. Looking forward to a great session with you today. So, one of the things I like to do, I know this is my first opportunity to work with this team, and you put it in chat for Tim and I's benefit. Your name, your agency, and what you did before you came to country. That was great. Give us a little feel for the different backgrounds we have. And so with that said, Tim, please take us to how to.
All right, happy to do that, Mike. Thank you. So welcome everyone, good morning. Look forward to seeing your comments here as they pop into the box, the chat box. As Mike said, I'm a seminary Alabama company for 27 years. I've split my time between the home office and agency training, as well as being out in the field as a rep. So I have been in your shoes, Mike has been in your shoes. We understand what it's like to run and own your own business, and to be in charge of everybody, build an empire that you can pass along to others and even succession planning within your family. So a lot of great opportunities in front of you. We're here today to just help you along the way, share some knowledge, give you some advice, help you answer your questions. We're just here for you. And so as we get started today, I just wanted to real quick run through housekeeping with you. You saw this last week. In week 1, still the same in week 2. So minimize those distractions. We want you to engage. So if possible, we ask that you please get your camera turned on, so we can see your smiling faces as you join us today. And then also to stay engaged throughout. Mike and I, not right ship. We're not going to be brutally go through that. We want to have fun with you. We want to engage with you. We want you to put comments in the chat. We want you to raise your hand. We want you to use the react button. This is us working in connection with you. Conjunction with you. It's not us just teaching you and you sitting there not being engaged. That's not how Mike and I run the show. So we're going to be working with you. We want you to engage. Want you using the technology, I just briefly touched on this. I like all the comments I'm seeing in the box, chat box, that's great. Use the react button if you want. Also, you have access to the other things that you can do with the microphone. Make sure those stay muted. Unless you want to jump off and share a comment, you can raise your hand to do that. That would be great. We'd love to hear from you and participate in today's session with us. And then lastly, the attendance is, remember from last week, we are not keeping attendance of today's session. That is all done through the invite you received through Outlook. So as long as you sign into today's session using that invite, you will get access for this course, as long as you do not miss more than 10 minutes of today's session. So if you have to set it up for a minute, or have technology issues, or somebody wants to be in your office, you need to just go talk to them for a minute, that's fine. Let's go ahead and use your camera, and then hop right back on. If there's something going on the back end, and it needs your attention, please reach out to either Mike or I through chat personally, or through Teams, and we can have a conversation with you and see what we can do to help you out if needed. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Mike, and we are going to go ahead and get started with today's content.
All right. Thanks so much, Tim. Appreciate that. And again, I just really want to emphasize, I know many of you are working very hard to get through your rep training in this first month, but that 10 minutes thing, you got to take respect to that. Because yeah, we don't have anything to do with it, so make sure you're on time. And then if you have to be take off the session more than 10 minutes. So just want to bring up that. And I see we got a hand up here. Adam, what's your question?
I just wanted to give I'm not sure why my chat's saying only available during the meeting. I tried to leave a couple times, but it's still locking off the chat for me. If you have any tips,
yeah, we're not well, I tell you what, Adam, what we do in this particular case is leave the meeting and come back in and see if that clears itself up. Sometimes we get those rip, because shouldn't be getting that.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Jeremy.
So I'm hearing a bad echo on my end. Should I do the same? Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And see, that's good, because if you let Tim and I know about things like this, and you get some kind of blip in your time, and we can work together with the sports specialist team on the back end to correct those. So again, let's have a great session and let's get it rolling. So today, what we're gonna talk about is the country sales process. We're gonna go through an overview of our process. We've got a 5-step process. Many of you, and I love and thank you for putting in the chat. What a rich background of different experiences you've had that you bring to this, but there does seem to be a common thread going through it, and that's important in our business, that you all had some kind of impact in helping people in one way or the other. And that's a common core denominator you gotta have for success in our business. You gotta really wanna help others, because that's what we do at Country Financial. How to prospect, how to find and cultivate those new clients, appointment prep. What do you do to prepare for it, to make sure you have a mutually beneficial meeting that provides value to the client so that they see the value in becoming your client. Client commercial, what's involved with that, how we go about doing it. Got several activities spread out through the session where we either put you in breakout rooms or we'll do things together in place. We don't have the large today, which is good, because you can have a lot more interaction with you. So Tim and I might look forward to you being engaged and raising those hands and sharing those comments. And team, to understand, this is a safe space. This is a safe space. We're not worried about who's right or who's wrong. We just want you to share what you think, and we're all here to learn together and from each other. So with that, distribution model, first up. Basically also, well, I'm not gonna say that. I want to see if somebody can pick my brain on this. When you hear distribution model for Country Financial, and you know, we see on this slide that we've got 4 different variations of that, which I'm gonna explain. The insurance agent, referral agent, financial advisor, as well as an associate agent, also known as a team member. So when you have those, this is the kind of thing that you want to look at. What does this mean to Country Financial? Why is that important to Country Financial? But more importantly, why is a distribution system like this important to you? So who wants to raise their hand and give me their thoughts on that? Love to hear from them. So who's our volunteer for that? Think of distribution model. What does it mean? Jimmy.
So I think from coming new into this industry, I think it's just getting out in the network, spreading your word out, and seeing your resources and being resourceful with them.
Absolutely. Spread your word, your network, being resourceful, provide value. Who else would like to add to that, what Jimmy said? Jimmy, great job. Who else wants to also give their thoughts on that? My next volunteer on that. Okay, team. Be forewarned. All right, Ari. Actually, I'm looking right at you too. So good thing you did. So Ari, go ahead and share. What do we mean when we say distribution model?
Now my mind went blank. But to me it means that we're like the front end people of the company, right? We're the ones that are bringing in the customers. We're the front end underwriters to begin with.
That's right. You're the face of country. Matter of fact, when people think of Country Financial, they don't think of us as a 100-year organization that started in 1920. Also, T, what a great time to be here, right? You are part of our 100-year anniversary where we started in 1925 helping others. And we looking forward to the next 100. Of course, you get to be part of that going forward. But you're right, Ari. We're the face of country. People think of Country Financial, they think of you. You are Country Financial to them. Stephen, I saw you speaking and pull back, but go ahead, Stephen. Share what was on your mind.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, when I think of distribution model, I just think that each individual title has different characteristics, and you just want to be able to cater to each one. It's no different like doing business development, having different avenues of business in a warehouse, right? Each one is going to be individual. So it was just something small. I was thinking.
No, spot on. And see, this is the thing, T, but I almost gave it away. But basically, distribution model is how do we, as an organization, Country Financial, go to market. How do we help our clients? Who takes care of our clients after we have them? You are our primary distribution model, the agency board. Not online, not direct, but you as the Country Financial Agency. So with that said, we do have, and to Stephen's point, great straight person, Stephen, insurance agents really are just that. I mean, basically, you're fully licensed in personal lines, property, casualty, life, health, those you're fully lined in, but can't do security. You're not licensed in securities, Series 6 or 63, and that's okay. That leads to the next one, that referral agent. So now the nice thing about the referral agent is that as an insurance agent, you can partner up with an existing financial advisor in your agency or in your district, along with the financial specialist. And really, as far as the referral agent is concerned, there's a web-based training that's associated with that you took as part of your training for New Rep training. And in there, you take the referral agent course, you go through it. At the end, you sign the referral authorization agreement. Again, there's no cost involved with that, not committing you to any charges going on, but it allows you to be able to partner up. But you have to take that course and make sure that you execute that agreement and submit it before executing that course. Exiting that course. So if you haven't done that already, please go back, make sure you get that done. So you put yourself in position to work together with a financial advisor as a referral agent with an insurance agent. Now, financial advisor, that is somebody that's actually fully licensed in all lines, property, casualty, life, health, as well as securities with their 6 and 63. And so then that's the person that as an insurance and a referral agent, you can partner with them. The nice thing about that though, is you actually get compensation for not only making a referral, but as well as some of the first 12-month fees that go on. So it's beneficial to you to do that. But the main thing is keeping that relationship intact with that client and providing that, as I like to call it, total risk manager approach to being able to help your clients protect their risk. And last but not least, the associate agent or rep team member or client service basically is as a primary rep that you have a team that's helping you help your clients in your market to grow your agents. And associate agent tends to mean that those are licensed. Now, associate agents don't have to be licensed in all that. Great if you were, but you at least either property and casualty and or life and health, and you can specialize on it. I would also say those of you that are considering and team members, and certainly we encourage that you do that, get them licensed. Get them licensed. Reason why you want to get them licensed is because as a person helping clients with an insurance, and that's in most laws in the state that we do business in, you cannot talk coverages or price and things like that with somebody and you are not licensed. So for example, If your staff person is not licensed and a client calls in and say, hey, you know, we just had this bad storm, and all of us across the country have had our fits and starts with that, especially in the states we do business with Country Financial, and client goes, well, you know, my basement flooded. I remember something about this sewer backup. Do I have that on my policy? Well, your assistant can answer yes, you do. And then if so what does that cover? Well, now they can't answer that. Can't answer that. They gotta wait. Make sure you're there or somebody's licensed there that can answer that question. Because an unlicensed person can't do anything but ministerial acts. They cannot answer questions about coverage price or other things. So again, even if you're encouraging somebody and not looking at putting them in production, get them licensed. Get them licensed. So you know, you protect yourself from an E&O standpoint. And speaking of E&O, team members, if you hire your team members with a W-2, this is important, with the W-2, they are covered under your E&O policy for Country Financial. If you hire somebody as a 1099 or an independent contractor, you have a separate agreement with them for that, then you would also need to have for them a separate E&O policy. So again, when you bring on team members, a couple of suggestions to you would be: one, get a license. Two, make sure that you hire them and pay them on a W-2 basis. But great job. But you are our way at Country Financial that we want to grow. We've been that way for 100 years, and we will be that way for the next 100 years. Will we employ other things? Yes. But you will always our core way of how we want to go to market. So let's talk about some of our competitive advantages with Country Financial. And team, I can tell you, what we pride ourselves on, and I know you guys are newly contracted with us, but I want you to think of it this way. Let me get some of your thoughts in the chat. When you hear deep understanding of core clients, tell me, what does that mean to you? Go ahead, put it in the chat, and then let me know you think. Does that matter? Is that important? What do you think? Go ahead and drop some of your thoughts in the chat. Right, now, small business, we understand the type of, that's right. Best fit the country, great connection with client, that's it. That's it, all they need. Oh, I love that, easy to do business with. Team, I think you got it. One of the things that we pride ourselves on at Country Financial is that we take the additional time to make sure that we fully understand our client needs and how best we can help. That is first and foremost for us. We want to seek to understand, then be understood. So we want to take that time to understand best, how can we be that trusted advisor? How can we help them manage their total risk and be a total risk manager at Country Financial? So well done, well done. That is central to us. That's what we do really well and pride ourselves in feeling like we do that better than our competitors, where we really truly emphasize that. One-stop shop for products and service, team, that speaks for itself. But I will say this, and you can say this with great confidence and pride. We truly are at Country Financial total risk management, meaning we can just about help our clients with anything they need. Anything they need. I mean, from auto, home, life, health, disability, we got brokerage that we have for those kinds of things. We got special event policies through brokerage, we can do commercial, we can do investments. We can do it all at Country Finance. Many of our core competitors do not have the ability for that, either from the life side, the New York Life, Northwestern Mutuals of the world, they can't do it. Even State Farm. Now, State Farm may be working their way back into the investment side, but for a long time they've got out of that. We've never departed. You stay with the investment side. Farmers, American Family, they don't do the investment side of the aspect. So you, as a country financial representative, either through being a financial advisor or in partnership as an insurance and referral agent with a financial advisor, we can be that one-stop shop for everything. And of course, if we're going to take the time to understand how best we can help our clients, then clearly the core of the foundation of our relationship is going to be with the intent to be long-term, lifetime value of a relationship. That's what we do at Country Financial. Now, X and grades. Who can tell me? We say core clients, right? Country Financial has core clients. We've got 3 of them. They are homeowners, farm owners, and micro business owners, small business owners. I would say micro business, we really like our sweet spot. One, we have targeted classes, but not a few, and not to say we can't have more, but really that's our sweet spot. Also like in the Main Street, Bob, those kinds of things, but really that small business, we're really there to help within our targeted classes. But who can tell me, and be a volunteer, what is the common theme of all our core clients? There's one word that all of them share, and why is that important? Yes, Vince.
That would be you.
Marvin?
I'm sorry, my headset's kind of messing up. Him being young.
No.
That's what I would know.
One word. Look at the 3 we got there. Yeah.
Owners, just people who have complete control over, for the first one, whether it be their home and their life. Farm owners, a similar thing, and there could be a commercial aspect to it. And then micro business owners who have more of a vested stake in, especially what they're passionate about, what they're focused on in their life right now.
Absolutely. Ownership. People are targeting core classes. Now, we have nothing against, and we will love to help people who rent, but that's okay. Because eventually, sometimes people who rent will be owners of other things. But owners are our targeted courses. Farm owners, homeowners, as well as small business owners. And typically that's because they have things to protect. They have those multiple things to protect, those multiple risks they want to deal with. And being that we're total risk managers, we can help them with it. So that makes us well positioned to provide great value to these core clients to go about helping. So great job there. Now, our sales process. Country Finance, and many of you, matter of fact, somebody go ahead and give me either in the chat, or if you want to go ahead and raise your hand and share, in the industries you've been in. I know you've had some kind of sales process. You want to share with us what was yours and how similar or dissimilar was it from what you see depicted here? Jim, go ahead.
So I was in the martial arts and fitness space, and basically I had to upsell people into programs, private lessons, other coaching, other coaches to lead them down the path to the right person that's a good fit for them.
Sure. Yeah, and you had so what was your process there, Gary? So what was your process as you go through? Give me the 40,000 foot view.
Okay, so basically they fill out a form or they come in and watch a class before they even do a class or anything. We do a one-on-one. That way I know where they're at. So I'm not like putting them out to the field. I'm not going to mix an advanced person with a non-advanced person. And from there, they go into a monthly, they do a monthly package for the first trial. Then after that, it's 3, 6, or 12-month commitment.
I love it. Okay, so the first thing is sit down and understand, one, what you're getting into potentially and what's going to make you most comfortable. And then we're going to put together a program around that.
Exactly.
I love it. So the thing is, Steve, so with us, we got 5 steps in our sales process. We'll kind of go through them. But the setup process, that's simply scheduling an appointment. That's meet somebody, let's get that appointment scheduled so you can learn how to do in the interview process, how best we can help you. That's where we want to fact find. That's where we want to go through and learn more about you. What are the things that are important to you? How can we help you? What are you looking forward to protect? Then once we know that, then we want to work to develop a customized solution based on their needs, their preferences, their wants and desires about what's important to them. So we're going to put together a solution on that, looking at all of the resources we have available and customize that to that specific client's needs. Then we're going to have that next meeting where we're going to take all that good work we've done from the interview phase and combining that into a customized solution. And then we're going to share that with that client. And hopefully in that period of time when we do that meeting and we recommend that and we go to implement it, the client will go, you know what? I love the value in there, Bill. We're going to put this together. We're going to make it happen. Thanks for putting this together for them. They come your country client. Now, don't end there. Once you got them, what you did to get them, you got to do more to keep them. And then you got to go into the service phase. And that makes sure that you deliver on all of the promises that you made. You take good care of them and you keep in touch with them on an ongoing basis. So, why is that important? Well, if you do that, and you do that with the quality and commitment that I'm sure you all want to do in your agency, it will allow you to build lasting lifetime value relationships with your clients, which for our business is the best way to grow your business because our business has something very, very unique in it. Ari, spot on. I see old Jeff Maxon has taught you well, Ari. You got that right. Because we have residual income, which means, or renewal income, however you want to refer to it. But every time that client policies renews and they play that ongoing confidence in you, you get compensated again. So well done. That's why we want, as I would always say, want to always keep the front door open and the back door closed. Because those clients to you are valuable over a lifetime. Tim, some of your thoughts on this before we move on.
A lot of great comments there. I think it is very important. My years of being a rep, you know, you're either, and that's hard because you have to be all in. And in this industry, you understand that. You know, claims don't happen just between 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. Situations don't pop up. You don't have a death in the family just during business hours. So it's a commitment. The relationship building is key to all of it. And if you do that properly from the beginning and the setup step, and keep bringing value back to your clients and to your prospects, you're there for them, you answer the phone, you return the phone calls, you make product recommendations, you answer their questions. You're there for them when it's good and bad, and if you can do all of that, still have a smile on your face, you can build an empire. One of the best things I loved about the job when I was a rep, when I like to have a $3 million book. Okay, so if I'm averaging 10% commissions on my PNC $3 million book, that means when I walk in the door January 1, I've made $300,000 for the year. Already, and I haven't done anything yet, but that's what you have in front of you, the opportunity to build residual income that will never go away. And that's a powerful thing that this industry can provide.
That's right, and we're unique in that. I'm also a managing real estate broker. Well, the nice thing about real estate is great, but it's transactional. I do a 10, 15, 20-year commercial lease. I focus more on commercial. But if I did that, I got paid once, now nicely. But that was it. So I didn't have nothing else coming on that deal for another 10, 15, 20 years. Same thing with somebody, you sell somebody a house. Sell them a house, they're in the house, they're happy. Well, you may not get another bite at that apple from them for another, in some cases, if you sold, well, nobody sold us our house, we built our house. But if you had a sold our house, you're in bad shape because we've been in our house over 30 years. So that deal ain't coming back around. But if you were my insurance professional, with me all along the way, then for every 1 in 30 years that I renewed with you, you would have got compensated. So that's a wonderful thing, in our business that we have. So, you know, we talked about the setup, basically the setup team, that's setting the appointment. Let's get the appointment goal. That is our goal for today. Just stick and move on the appointment. That's not the time to sell. That's not the time to do that or figure out how best to help them, to get all the information, to fact find information gathered. No, the setup is just that. Let's schedule a time to meet so we can sit down and then really determine how best we can help. Then the interview, that's where we're going to fact find information gather, do all of those things that we need to do to the client to learn best how we can help. Then, as we mentioned, we're going to prepare our solution. We'll put that together. We're going to look at all the resources we have available based on what the client says they need, and then we're going to tailor it to their customized specific needs to do that, which is why it's so important that we take the time to understand what's important to them and how best we can help them. Recommend and implement. We're going to give them our solution. We're going to share with them. We're going to tie those benefits back to why they said they needed it. In other words, you said this was important to you. One of the things our solution does is it provides that as a way to make sure that this is protected, which you mentioned was important to you. So you tie that back, let them know, listen, pay attention, and we're putting together a solution that's important to you. And lastly, service. Now that you're my client, I'm going to work even harder for you to make sure that all times you are properly protected so we can grow those lifetime lasting relationships. Sales process, common issues, okay. Pen and paper, if you type fast on your cell phone, however you want to do it, I want you to write this down. This is one of my kind of Mike Gibson. I have to admit, I'm not the author of it. I did steal it from somebody else, but that's okay. That's what good ideas are for. But I want you to write this down. The 6 P's. And the 6 P's. So the first P is problem, then pride, plan, promote, eat, perform. Okay. Proper, prior, plan, promote, peak, performance. Thank you, Tim, for the assist in the chat. But that's it. And team, why that's important is that if you are prepared, then you will operate at your absolute best. And that's going to be beneficial to everybody involved. But if you don't take the time to prepare, if you don't take the time to really understand what's important to me and how best you can help me. Then you come off with lack of preparation, also could be deemed as not really too professional. And then also as a client, I might look at, well, whose best interests are you serving? Are you really operating to help me, or are you operating to help you? And then again, so lack of inconsistency, y'all over. You know, one day we're talking about this, the other day we're talking about something that's all over the place because you don't have a plan, you don't have a roadmap to get you where you want to go. And then also too, and team, watch this. Be careful with this one. Not having flexibility to adapt and adjust to what a client may immediately want or need. And so I'll give you an example. So you may be thinking, well, I really want to help the client with the two biggest doors in the house. And in the house, the two biggest doors are the garage for the cars and the front door. But what if a client comes to you and says the thing that's really been on their mind because they just lost somebody in their family that they love dearly, and that person happened to die without income protection or life insurance, and now that's top of mind for them. So yeah, they might want to talk to you about all their own later, but right now, they want to talk to you about how they can protect their family with having income replacement in the event of their untimely death or an accident that causes their death. So you got to be able to say, well, no, we got to do the all. You know, well, we got to do the all in home first, and then no. You help them with the life, and you cross sell back to the all in home. Matter of fact, when I was a rep, I wrote 99 issue and paid life policies and only 33 offers my first year as a rep. Why? Because I was during a time where X dates, people didn't necessarily change midterm, especially on the auto rate. You missed the expiration date, they didn't want to talk to you until the expiration date came up again. Now that's not a thing. They'll do it at any time. But life is, all I had to do was engage you. You were ready to protect your family. We put a plan in place to get it done. And I did, and everybody under the sound of my voice, anybody I knew, everybody I met had a need for life insurance and income replacement. Everybody, to a person, above ground and breathing. However, you might not own a house, so you don't need homeowners insurance. You might not drive, you don't need auto insurance. But everyone will need life insurance. So be flexible and help them with that. Tim, I know you got a lot of experience with that. What are some of your thoughts?
I would echo what you're talking about, Mike. It's the biggest thing is you have to get comfortable just asking people about what's going on in their life. And one of my favorite lines that I use, I'd always ask everybody about life insurance. And one of my favorite lines, always, if they start hemming and hawing with me, is, well, tell me when you're going to die, and I'll tell you when we need to sell you some life insurance. And you know what? Nobody knows the answer to that question. And I get just what Mike did when I say that. I get them chuckling and laughing, but you know what it does? It gets them to relax. It gets them to think. You have to get comfortable, in some respects, having uncomfortable conversations. And not meaning uncomfortable is necessarily bad. It's just something that people don't think about and don't want to talk about on a daily basis. People that are successful in this industry get very comfortable talking about the uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're in the business to help people and to protect them and give them the protection they need. So we have to help them through those uncomfortable conversations that may also be very uncomfortable for us. Matter of fact, that's really the primary reason why most reps may not engage as enthusiastically with life insurance and income replacement because they don't want to deal with their own mortality. They're uncomfortable talking about something that makes them think about their own mortality, so they don't want to talk about it with me. Because I tell you, life insurance income replacement, that's about the simplest thing we have on earth to help somebody with It's pretty cool, especially the term and whole life. UL's got a few things that move around on you. But term and whole life, boy, that's about as straightforward as it can get as far as understanding what it does and how it works. So again, preparation key to. Natural market, yeah.
I just want to add to what you guys are saying real quick. Something that's helped me as an associate agent for 2 years is not knowing is okay than giving a bad or incorrect answer. And for me, it was kind of hard because for some reason, I focus in commercial. So there was like a lot of questions that I was like, I don't know. And the clients respected that much more than if I gave them an answer and then changed it later.
That's right. That's right. And Ari, you made me think of one of my favorite quotes from one of the great Greek philosophers, and that is, "It is the silence of a wise man in their ignorance that makes them wise. And it is the wisdom of a fool in their ignorance that makes them a fool." So that's what I'm talking about. Say you don't know, and then but you will find out and help the client. But don't just give bad information. That's where you do the right thing you want to do for your client. So, team, Jimmy, I saw you clap, man. I want you to help me out here. Natural market. You building your martial arts. How does that work? What do you think of when you say natural market?
All the past clients that I've had, people that I've helped in the community, business owners, their kids, their parents going off to college. Like I've seen generations come through the gym when I had it open. So just going after all those clients in my database that I had from.
Absolutely, absolutely. What else? Who else? Natural market. What does that mean to you when you hear natural market? And who would you include in it? Yes, sir.
The mom clubs that I'm in with my kids.
Love that. Gloves. I always like to say Kaiser Sose, right? Usual suspects that are in there with the thing like, realtors, mortgage brokers, those kind of lenders, all of those are in there, attorneys, accountants. Those are your usual suspects, but the ones that also are great natural market sources are those organizations you're in. Because let's face it, we're in the business to help people. I love that. Hey, Jeanette, come on, tell me more about that. People you regularly interact with. Tell us more about that, Jeanette. What do you mean?
So sometimes when I go drop off my kids to school, there's other parents that are there. There are people that you're seeing every day. When you go to the grocery store, you live in a small community.
Sure.
The people that are there also are people that they regularly see you. They know that you're a part of the community. So just making small talk with them opens up opportunities, and you can say, hey, I'm, an agent owner. So if you ever have any needs, feel free to ask, even if they aren't necessarily looking for something. You can just let them know that you're there to help answer their questions, and that kind of opens the door for more opportunities.
Absolutely, spot on to that. And I tell you, a lot of times, sometimes we'll get more narrow, more natural market, to where we'll define it as mother, father, sister, brother, close family, friends, associates, people we know reasonably well. I would say natural market is anybody who you know that also knows you. And that means that if I could say, hey, Jeanette, and Jeanette could say to me, hey, Mike, how you doing? Boy, it's been 20 years. Still, I would consider Jeanette part of my natural market because Jeanette knows me and I know her. We know each other. Therefore, we can communicate. So broaden your scope on natural market because that's a great resource. Now I want to talk about the elephant in the room. Okay. So Bill, you know, put a great comment in there, people we've worked with. You think to working with your natural market or that type of thing?
Yeah, I think it's always a thing because you don't be rejected by people you know.
Right.
So rejection's a deterrent to activity sometimes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I mean, Vincent, I saw your hand.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, when you're working with your natural market, I find, yeah, your immediate, what like some people like to call it, your immediate natural market, meaning your
Sure.
close family and friends, those seem to be the harder ones to deal with on there. And it's more so the fact that
Sure.
they feel like, oh yeah, I know everything about your life, but now when it's time to actually go ahead and protect you on something in your life, oh, that's too personal. I don't want you to know exactly this, that, the other. Which is always funny to me because I'm like, I actually care about you. Why would you want to deal with that? You know, I have to at least try to help you out. But it's usually those branches from that, you know, where I found more success, just the people that were connected directly to that. So yeah, as I say, the trunk might not produce nothing, but the branches sure will. So those are
All
what
right,
I reach out
love
towards.
Yeah, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that, Vincent. Ari, I saw you. What did you want to share?
Exactly what Vincent said. So when I was taking my licensing class, I said controlled business. Like I want to write my friends and families. And now I'm like, no, thank you. They're like going the other way.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. All right, come around. Sit, gather around, gather around. We're gonna talk about something make you a little bit more comfortable. First of all, think of it like this. Calendar isn't an exact science though, because it's pretty close. So what you got is roughly you got about 20% of your natural market. That's gonna come flocking to. They're gonna give you every possible opportunity to earn their business. They're gonna 20%. They're gonna do that. Now, you're gonna have 20% on the other end that are gonna be like, no way, no how. And in some cases, who's in that no way, no how, not now, would surprise you. Because those might be some of your closer family members and friends. And to Vincent's point, it's like, look, you family. I really don't want you all in my business, financial affairs, and all the things we need to be able to help somebody right. Yeah, I know you love it, but still, you know, and you know what? That's okay. So we got 20% to do what they can, 20%, maybe not. But the beauty is you got that 60%. Now they fall kind of somewhere in the middle. And some of them might be like, see how long you doing it. So it might be that Adam, if after 6 months, you still doing this, let's talk. You know, talk to me then, because they want to see you commit to this career, doing that, having success before they up in the relationships they currently have to transition to you. Yes,
What I found when I first started out in the business with family, as Mike said, some would help you. When you know people are ready to you is when you start attending family gatherings and they start coming to you and asking you insurance questions. And if they're not your question yet, they're going to be pretty soon, they're going to be your client because they now see you as a professional. They don't see you as that kid they grew up with or that kid that couldn't find a job 5 years ago. They now see you as a professional who has got their, you know what, together and is building a business and can now provide value to them. So when they start coming to you, you know, it's on. You can approach them and they will sit down and have a conversation with you.
absolutely spot on. And again, that's why I want you all comfortable. 20%, do what they can. 20%, maybe not, but then you got that 60%. So, again, don't worry about it. And like this one Girl Scout today had sold more cookies than anybody else. She said, I keep it simple, like this. Some will, some won't, so what? Who's next? Help who you can, when they ready to be helped. And then the rest, you come back around. Centers of influence, little different spin. So and Megan, I see you put social circles, so I want to kind of, Megan, what do you mean by centers of influence? What does that look like as far as who's involved with that? Why are they important?
I would say, chambers of commerce, right? So your local chambers, any kind, I know here locally, they have like a broker's breakfast, right? So it's, lenders, agents. They kind of meet up in the morning for breakfast events. So to me, it would be professional networking. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like-minded people, common interests. See, this part I want you to know. We're in the business of helping people. We help all them. Now we got core clients. Feel we're better positioned to offer our value proposition, but we're in the business of help people. So that means everybody you know and anybody you meet is a potential client or prospect. And that could be in professional organizations, being active in your community. By the way, don't be a secret agent. Don't let nobody have to try to find out what it is you do to help others. Join those locals, be active. And I would also say go beyond Kaiser Sose. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with Kaiser Sose, there's this great movie starring Kevin Spacey called The Usual Suspects. I tell you, it's an awesome movie. Kaiser Sose was a guy, and the title of it was Usual Suspect. But it was like they're looking for everybody else, and he's standing there right in front of them because he wasn't the usual suspect. Mortgage lenders, realtors, attorneys, that kind of thing. But expand your base, go out. These are the people that help you grow. They're the ones that are going to send others to you to be able to do that. And frankly, a natural market could be one of the biggest proponents of this. As a matter of fact, one of the best centers of influence I had for me growing my agency is your faith-based community. My church, my church members. Those were my most active, if you will, centers of influence because they knew you, they trust you, and they knew that you were going to do business the right way and that you were going to take care of them from the standpoint of looking out for their best interest and doing the right thing for them. So cultivate those centers of influence. Those are important. Elevator speech. This is where, remember I talked about before, sticking and moving it. When you meet somebody in the beginning, the setup, just get the appointment. Elevator speech is your 20, 30-second type of deal you want to have in there. I'm going to give you a couple examples of it. You tell me what you like better. Okay, so first, I'm like, hi, I'm Mike Harris. I sell insurance. I want you to know, oh boy, you got pretty good rates right now if you're the right person. Okay, that's number one. Number two, hi, I'm Mike Harris. I help clients protect things that matter most and plan for a future they desire. I work with a team of experts that can help address most any need that you might have as a client. We work with a variety of different clients, especially homeowners, micro business owners, and farmers. I'd love to help you make sure you are protected and headed in the direction you want to go. So, in the chat, what do you like better? Mike Harris number one or Mike Harris number two? All right, I think I would have to agree, Tim. I think I'd rather go with Mike Harris number two too. Now, but why? Somebody go ahead and tell me, why did you like Mike Harris number two better than Mike Harris number one? Both of them provide value, But why two versus one? Who wants to share? Jimmy,
You went into more detail and you had a call to action at the end.
well, what else do you think was different about Mike Harris? Okay, Stacy.
And you talked about the planning portion of it. I like that. I really like that in there. Planning
That's
for the
right.
future. Yeah.
Adam, love it.
Yeah, you focus more on the long-term aspect of it, the protection piece versus throwing out that we've got good rates and we want you to come check things out now. Focused on kind of the long term of what their goals might be.
That's right. Plan, protection, long-term goals. Vince, last comment. What you got?
Yeah, it just seemed more personal than generic. The first one was like, you can walk through 100 people and say that same thing, and it's not like you actually care. You're just trying to collect clients, opposed to actually caring about what they want, making more of a personal one-on-one with them.
Yeah, I mean, probably not the best analogy, but I think you'll get the point. One of them, I'm a gunslinger. The other one, I'm a pastor. You know, because I'm focusing on you. Second one, I'm focusing on you and how I can help you. Not so much about what I can do for you will also benefit me. So Don, I'm gonna give you all a collective round of applause, so you've done well. Now, Tim is gonna take you through having a little fun with this. So Tim, what are we gonna do?
All right, well, Mike's been talking a lot. I'm gonna talk to you for a little bit, and then I'm gonna let you work on building your own elevator speech. And then I'm gonna ask for you to volunteer to share with us what you came up with. So what do we want, or what should you have in your elevator speech? You see where it says there on the slide, keep it concise, under 20 seconds? I would say 30 to 45 is probably more realistic. I know they're trying to say, what, how much time you spend in an elevator going from one floor to the next. But I think if you're talking to somebody in 30 seconds, it's not too much time to ask of them. So you need to be concise. So that's why we want to give you a little bit of time to work on this. So Mike kind of went through a couple of different examples. I can share with you what mine was. And it's not nearly as detailed, but I think the value of the message is there. And I would, if I'm introduced to somebody and I tell them, they tell me their name, I tell them, if I don't know them at all, the first thing you want to do is ask them, well, what do you do for a living? Because as soon as you ask them, after they tell you, what are they going to do? They're going to ask you, what do you do for a living? So that engages them in that conversation. And then real quickly, my message always centered around, I help my clients with the what ifs in life. What if you get in an accident? What if your house catches on fire? What if you die too soon? What if you get disabled and can't go to work tomorrow? I help my clients with all those things. And I'd love the opportunity to sit down and talk to you to see if I can bring value to you and to your family. So that's how simple I'd like to keep it. Different people have different backgrounds. We have another trainer. Her name is Nicole, that has a very strong military background, and she brings that message in with her elevator speech. So make it personal to you, something that brings value to you, using what you see here on the slide. The slide's going to stay up. I want to give you about 5 minutes, just kind of work on it on your own. And then we'll come back together and I'll ask for some volunteers. We'll have a little bit of a debrief / discussion. Any questions at this point? All right, it's just 9:59 Central Standard Time here. So at 4 after, I'll circle back around with you, see what you got, and we'll ask a few of you to share. If you want to go off camera while you're working, that is perfectly fine. I'll bring you back in at 4 after. All right, then 5 minutes, so when we get our cameras turned back on, I bring everybody back in. And start asking for some volunteers that would be willing to share their elevator speech. Guess what? Doesn't have to be a perfect work of art. Something that evolves and changes as your confidence evolves and changes and your knowledge grows as well. So Jimmy, you had your hand up. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, it's not perfect, but I'll give it a
That's
first
okay.
shot. All right.
Right off the bat. Go ahead.
All right. As a previous business owner slash coach, I understand about the personalization of training people from group classes to private lessons. Now I'm just transitioning to protecting your assets as opposed to what I did with your health.
Excellent. So how would you close that off?
By setting up an appointment, let's go and evaluate where you are at right now.
I think what you're saying is fine. You just want to have a little hook. How do you transition that into, I help people protect assets to, I want to sit down and help you. And that's just all, I think that brings value. You can tie that in at the very end.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, somebody else. All right, is it Ari? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. All right, go ahead, Ari.
So my elevator talks usually happen at new businesses that are opening up in my communities. So I bring in like a resource sheet. Say, hi, my name is Ari. I work, at Country Financial. Have you heard of this new grant or these chambers that you can become involved with to, have more exposure for your business? Have you had the chance to really understand and comprehend how your policy is set up? If not, can I go through it with you? And then from there, I make recommendations and make sure that it's correct.
Good. I think that works. Thank you. Vincent, go ahead.
Yeah, mine is more introductory guns. I'm Vincent Woods with Country Financial. I'm a insurance specialist with Country Financial. I've been in the profession for a little under a decade now. I deal with clients that range anywhere from your young homeowner all the way out to your rural farmer. On there, what I would like to do is actually sit down about 10, 15 minutes with you, kind of touch base and see what we can get together and see how we can go ahead and help you and benefit your life.
Awesome. Thank you. Very good. Nicely done. All right, and then Adam, I see you get your hand up. We'll go ahead and grab yours too.
But yeah, kind of similar to Vince in a very introductory way and more honestly kind of trying to utilize the new agent aspect of it. My name's Adam Byer. I'm a new agent with Country Financial, working to protect what matters most in your life as I'm building my business. My top priority is being fully available for my clients, answering questions, offering guidance, making sure you always feel supported. Whether you're navigating life's big changes, just need quick advice, I'm always here to be your go-to resource, growing alongside you through every important stage in life. I'd love the opportunity to learn more about your situation, your long-term goals, and see how I can support that.
Okay. Your message there is good. You might want to just revisit it, see if you can bring that in a little bit. One thing that I would say at the very beginning, you brought in a word that I would not bring in, and you brought in the word new. They don't need to know that you're new. You just need to tell them what you do, okay? Sometimes people hear the word new and they go, I ain't talking to that person because they don't know what they're doing yet somehow. That's one thing. But the messaging was awesome. Mike, you got your hand up.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I like to have fun. So to me, this is kind of, yeah, Stacy, before I say that, say what are you gonna share?
So listen to mine, see if this, so you said don't use the word new, but I put something like this. I put, I'm an agent with Country Financial, getting out in the field, meeting new and exciting people such as yourself to further help you with your insurance needs, protecting your assets. And then I can help you with your, everything from your home and auto to retirement and even to your business. Can we set up a time, set up a meeting, an appointment?
Yeah.
Can I use that? I'm out,
Yeah. That one works because
okay.
you're not establishing that you're new. You're establishing, I'd like to meet new people. So I think that there works just fine. Okay? All right, Mike, go ahead.
If, Christie, you want to share something real quick and then I'll go.
You're on mute. There you go.
Yep. Hi, my name's Christy Tracy. I'm an insurance agent with Country Financial. I work with families to build insurance policies around their personal and business needs. I'm a fourth generation dairy farmer and my kids are fit. I know farming. I understand how farms work and operate and what questions to ask to make sure we're building individual plans for families. Country offers much more than basic home auto insurance, such as financials and life. I'd love to sit down with you and talk about your needs and future plans.
Awesome. Great job. Thank you. All right, Mike.
Okay, now we've done that. Here's the thing I want you to all think about and consider and also include as part of something we're going to be talking about later, which is the client commercial. Now, for me, the elevator speech, I like to have more fun with this from the standpoint of one, I want to do two things. One, I'm not going to tell you about what I do. That I'm not. So I'm not going to talk to you about I'm an insurance agent. I'm not going to tell you about I work with Country Financial. I'm not going to tell you what I do. I'm going to tell you what I do for you. What benefit I'm going to provide. So for example, with the elevator speeches, stick and move just to get their interest, to be able, as Ari mentioned, to be able to have that time when they want to meet more with you to learn more about how you can help. So, for instance, and Ari, Joe Gertler, the area director for Market 4, his used to be, I help people protect paychecks. How can I help you protect yours? That was his elevator speech. Mine was, I help people protect what they value. How can I help you? And that was it. That was it. Going to provide you by working with me. Now, when I get into my client commercial later, then yeah, we're going to start talking about Country Financial. I understand all these other things I do. But remember, this elevator speech is meant to be quick, 20, 30 seconds. Get my attention. Give me enough of a reason that I want to sit down and meet with you. So I always like to throw that in there, Tim.
Yeah, I think you will find with your elevator speeches, more confident you become, the shorter they become. Because you now know what value you can provide to them, and you can distinctly and quickly share that message to them. And like Mike said, you want to sell the sizzle when you're sitting down across the table from them. With the elevator speech, you're just trying to pique their interest.
That's right. Good deal. Well, great job, everybody.
Yeah,
well
awesome.
done. Well done. Well done. All right, Tim, thank you for leading us through that. So, prospecting team, we're going to go a little bit. We got a couple we're going to cover, then we're going to take a break, and Tim's going to set you up for an activity, which I'm going to let Tim tell you about it in a minute. But prospecting is just simple. First of all, we got to do it. You got to go out and offer yourself available to people about how you can help them. One of the things, there's two things to me that I consider the holy grail of success in building a strong, profitable agency. And that is, one, you've got to have a daily contact commitment strategy. Daily contact commitment strategy. Hey, I'm going to commit to every day that I'm going to ask at least a certain number of people how I can help, for the opportunity to see how I can help. 7, and that number can be anywhere from 7 to 12. I heard there's a gentleman called Joe Jordan, who is a foremost expert in our industry, and that's his thing with the daily contact commitment strategy. So every day you want to ask at least 7 to 12 people a day for the opportunity of how you can help. Whether they say yes, whether they say no, whether they say not. But you want to make sure that every day you're reaching out to at least 7 to 12 people. The thing I did in my agency, I did not let myself go home until I had scheduled a minimum of 2 appointments a day, every day, Monday through Saturday. I'm on schedule, a minimum of 2 appointments. Ideally, I want to run 2 appointments, but I can control scheduling 2 appointments a day. They could be for next week, they could be for tomorrow, they could be for 6 months from now. I never will forget, I came home one day from, I was teaching a class at a junior college, and I came in, and my sweetheart told me, she said, Mike, I got 12 appointments scheduled for you. Now I'm more out. I done already run my agency all day and I went and taught a class at the junior college. And then I come home and my sweetheart tells me I got 12 appointments for you. And I just hit the floor and said, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. And then we do it. Some of them appointments are 3, 4 months out. Just keep in touch and you do it. But again, commit to contacting so many people a day, whatever that number is for you, and ask for the opportunity to help. And commit to schedule a minimum of 2 appointments a day. I think if you do both of those, you will never find yourself in the position of not having enough people to try to help and to be able to take enough shots to where you grow a strong and profitable agency. But you gotta do it. Now, objection. I like to call them out. We're gonna get them. Some are gonna say no, some are gonna say never. Some, most likely, most people are saying that now. Matter of fact, when I was a kid growing up, my mother, I learned the word why. Why served me well. And my mother also learned the word no. Everything I'd asked for was no. And then she told me finally, she said, I did that because you asked for so much that I want to make sure, is this something you really want or you just curious about it? And if you were just curious about it, it went away, I didn't have to deal with it. But if you really wanted it, then what I was going to do, I'm coming back. I'm going to come back. So again, understand, just because a client is hesitant at first doesn't mean that they don't want to do business with you. So take an objection as an opportunity. And we have this process here. Empathize, acknowledge, explain, prepare, and then document. Empathize meaning, look, just because you have a concern doesn't mean that you're a bad person. I get it. You have something that you want to learn a little bit more about. Matter of fact, that's how I treat objections. That means that it's an opportunity to help clarify something that maybe I didn't do well enough in the beginning and they don't see the value in it. So we want to do that. Acknowledge. Let them know. I understand your objection. Here's what it is. And one of the things I use in my process, I would restate, clarify, and confirm. Yes, I would parrot it back. The reason I parrot it back is because I wanted to make sure that the objection I heard was actually the objection they had and they confirmed it. So, if they say, well, I'm just a little bit concerned about where that's going to fit my budget. I'd be like, okay, I understand that things may be tight. You want to make sure you're getting the right value for that. Would that be correct? And they would say yes. I'm like, okay, so now I know I'm dealing with the right objection. Now I'm going to empathize and I'm going to acknowledge, I'm going to explain, prepare, and then you're going to document it in the CIM. And to prepare, and again, not a rebuttal. The rebuttal is like, okay, this is what you say, this is what I'm going to say. And again, you're helping clarify it. In other words, you had this concern about the budget. So see, one of the things we did in our solution when we put that together for you, you had mentioned this was important. You had mentioned this was important. You had mentioned you wanted to make sure you had protection for that. Our solution provided all of that. And that was things that was important to you. So with those things that are important to you that you get now that you didn't have before, do you feel comfortable now moving forward? Again, coming back, restate those benefits related to the client needs, and then hopefully earning that client's business. And even if you don't, then the opportunity to ask again. And then keep that activity in your leads and activity system, client relationship management tool, so that you can continue the ongoing, because no, a lot of times doesn't mean never. It just means not now. Fair enough? Okay, cool. So Tim, tell us what we're gonna be doing next, and I think we got a little break coming up here. Huh?
Yeah, so we're going to work in this handling objections activity into your break. We're gonna give you a nice long break, and I've already kind of assigned people to each one of these objections, and we're gonna give you the time then over the break to review them. And we just want to work on how do you quickly, just like Mike was talking about there, how do you quickly take a conversation, figure out what's really going on with that person? Is that objection really what you see that there? Or is it something more that's going on behind the scenes? And so getting comfortable having answers back for those other than, well, you know what, that's a great question, let me figure it out. Some of these things, you need to be on it right away, and you need to be prepared with your response coming back. And these are all pretty basic questions that you should be able to feel comfortable enough to have a response to. So that's what we want to work on, is get you comfortable. Again, we talked about it earlier, getting comfortable doing the uncomfortable. Sometimes handling an objection can be a little bit uncomfortable, but the more prepared you are, the more confident you're going to be, and the better you're going to be able to address the question, and more importantly, not only address the concern or the question, but to keep them moving forward in the process. Okay? That's ultimately what we want to help you to do. So these are numbered 1 through 10. The first on the top row going from left to right. So I'm already working with someone would be number 1. Just send me some information 2. I'm too busy 3. I wouldn't want to waste your time 4. And I have family member in the business 5. So I have assigned 5 people to each one of these. So number 1 is Jimmy. Number 2 is Bill. Number 3 is Christy. Number 4 is Stephen. And number 5 is Adam. Okay? Now on the second row, the bottom row, 6 through 10. 6 starts again on the left. They don't have any money. Going all the way across to 10, which is my spouse, handles that stuff. Number 6 is Ari. Number 7 is Jeanette. Number 8 is Vincent. Number 9 is Andrew. And number 10 is Stacy. Okay? What we want you to do is, when we come back from the break, I'm going to ask you the question. I just want you to come back at me with how you would handle that objection. These cards then flip over, and I can kind of show you a response that we have, and we'll have a little discussion around it. And if you have additional questions after we flip these around and you want to talk some more, we can talk. That's what we're here for, to help you out. So let's do this. It is 22 after. I'm going to give you till 32 after. So a full 10 minutes. You get time for a break. Think about your question. I'm going to leave the slide out. So if you want to jot your question down, you can. If you need to walk around a little bit, want to think about it, that's fine. Let's have you back here at 32 after, and we'll roll through these together as a group. All right, go ahead and enjoy your break. You can turn your cameras off, but don't leave the session, please. See, yep, most of you back. All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and get started. Jimmy, you were first up on our list of people to work with. So objection number 1 is, I'm already working with someone. So if you were, let's say you just gave somebody your elevator speech, and that's the response you got back from them, how do you think you would handle that objection?
This is kind of what I came up with is, hey, I understand, but many of my clients were in the same situation before, realizing I could offer better coverage, personalized service, and a potential savings. Would you be open for a review?
Awesome. Good, very good, right? But you didn't necessarily just say, oh, okay, well, thanks. Maybe I'll reach back out to you again sometime in the future. You actually were prepared for that response. You had a nice way of pivoting them into thinking about something else. Okay, so I appreciate that. We put this over. Can you guys read that okay? I know it's a lot of handwriting on a small screen. Is that legible to you?
Yeah.
Okay. No, and then I like that. I assume you probably are already working with someone, and most people are gonna tell you they have somebody, whether they do or they don't. You know, could just be a way to get rid of you. Instead of saying no, they'd like to give you a soft deflection. So being prepared for that, and I think you did a great job of handling that one. All right, so for time's sake, I'm gonna just keep moving us along. Next up, we have Bill. Bill, you ready?
I sure am. On this one, I would say.
Go ahead. Oh,
Yeah, they're gonna say, just send me some information. I would say, well, that's great. I'm gonna get the information out to you right away, and I'll give you a call back in a few days to discuss it more with you, because I know once you read the information, you'll have a lot of questions. I appreciate it.
All right, great. That's good. All right. You didn't take their, just send me information as, okay, and I'm done. You provided next step. And I think that's important when you get to that. If you're going to send them that or agree to that, that you want to work with them, making sure you can provide value to them and ask for the opportunity to compete for their business. And you did that indirect. I'll send you what you want, and I'll follow up with you to have a further discussion on it. So I like that. Okay. Next one up, we have Christy. You ready?
Yep. I'm just too busy to meet with you. I understand that life gets crazy. I'm happy to come out to your house and sit down and meet with you guys, you know, evenings, weekends, whatever works for your schedule. And if they come back that they're just busy, I was like, well, I can absolutely put you on my calendar and check back in with you in a couple of weeks and go from there when things settle down.
Yep, good. One thing I will share with you, John Bogley, who is the RVP for our region here in Illinois and up in the central region as well. His thing is people are always going to be busy in the moment. So ask for them in the future, you know, ask for time in the future. Don't try to get them to commit to something this week. Say, okay, as they come back, you know what, we're all busy, and I can understand that, and I appreciate that, but what I have to talk to you about is very important as well. So how about 3 weeks from now? Let's take a look at your calendar 3 weeks out. We can always move it if we have to, if something pops up, but let's get something on the calendar in the future where I can help. Okay, so I think that's a good way to kind of look at that one as well. Okay. And I'll let you read these responses as we kind of roll along here, but we're going to kind of keep moving along. So next up we have Steven.
You can determine.
You there?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't see or hear you, so go ahead.
I understand many clients felt the same way when we initially spoke. Now they are happy and satisfied after we sat down and were able to protect what they value and get them heading in the right direction. When may you have time to get together? Would you like to put that in your calendar right now? If they say no, like, that's great. I get your number and I'll follow up in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, good, right. Sometimes I think I wouldn't want to waste your time as not necessarily them telling you no. A lot of times that's a deflection because they don't really know what they don't know, and they're afraid to admit that, okay? So I think what you said is good. You know, you're not wasting my time, because my time is devoted to helping you make sure you're properly protected. So let's find a time that works for both of us, and I'll meet with you for a little bit and see if we can help you out. Okay, so I think what you did was good, so thank you for that. All right, next one up, we have Adam.
Yeah, but I completely understand the hesitation. At the same time, I always encourage you to explore other options. Whether it ends up being the right fit or not, I'm always happy to be a resource and a second set of eyes to help you figure out what works best for your situation.
Great, I think that works well. I had gentleman that I used to work with in the training department 10 years, 12 years ago, that was a rep as well before he came into training. And his response was along the lines of, are you comfortable enough with what you have to get a second opinion? To make sure that what you have is actually what you need and it meets your needs and it has the proper coverage in the same place. No obligation, but are you comfortable enough for a second opinion? And I think that's another really good one that works there as well. Okay, next up we have Ari. You ready?
Yes. I
All
don't
right,
have
go
any,
ahead.
mine was, I don't have any money. I understand. How about we take a look at your current coverage, go through it, make sure that it still meets your expectations. Cheaper is not always better, and we might be able to save you a little bit more money if we can earn your business by bundling.
Okay, good. I think that works, right? Because if I don't have money sometimes, I think it's another, just as a deflection to try to get them away. But like to Mike's point earlier, say, okay, well, I think maybe first and foremost, then, another thing I can help you with is budgeting. So let's have the time to sit down, look at what you're paying for, what you got, review your coverages in that process, and let's figure out on the need tos that you need to take care of, and insurance is one of them, especially auto in the home. You need to carry that coverage. So let's figure out a way, make sure you're properly covered. And if it's staying where you are, guess what? I'll tell you that you should stay where you are. But let me at least look at it for you and see if I can bring value to you and help you out. So very good. Nice job. All right, next up we have Jeanette.
I'm all set and have enough insurance I would respond with. I think that's great that you have taken the time to have insurance coverage for potential losses. But I think it would be a good idea to talk about any concerns you might have or possible gaps, make sure that it is tailored to you, and make sure that it's a personalized insurance to fill your needs.
Right, good. Yep, you're on point there. It's like, well, what's enough mean to you? Okay, because what's enough to you is going to be different from the next 100 people that I talk to, because everybody's needs are what? They're individual, tailored to what's going on in their lives. So I think this comes back to what I said with my elevator speech. You say you're all set, you have enough. And I say, well, what if? What if this happened? What if this happened? Have you thought about that? Your current agent or rep asked you about your income and your assets and what you wanted to protect. Because you may think you have enough, but in reality you may not. So let's have that conversation and let's verify you can do it if you don't. Okay? All right, next up we have Vincent.
Yeah, I just worked with an advisor to address these things a few months ago. Well, I'm happy to hear that you actually pay attention and concerned about the things that you value the most. What I want to do is just go over those things to make sure you actually understand where your dollar is going and that you understand exactly what you've purchased on this. What I would like to do is sit down with you, schedule some time, get these things worked out. I am free at 3:15 and 3:45 tomorrow. Which one works best for you?
Awesome. Yep. That's back to getting in that second opinion, right? So you did a very nice job with that. Thank you. All right, next up, Andrew.
Yeah, it's mine was, give me a call after the holidays, and I would just, say absolutely, and let me just make sure I have the best, phone number to reach you at. And then is there a better date and time that works best for you? And in the meantime, if you wanna take that extra time to gather all your documents and paperwork so we can have a more detailed and educated conversation on what you have.
Okay, good. Yep, that's good. Another way that you might want to do that, that kind of comes back to what I said earlier. I said, oh, great, after the holiday, absolutely, I can give you a call. But for your benefit as well as mine, my schedule does fill up. Let's just tentatively peg a date, get something on the calendar, and then when I do follow up with you after the holidays, it'll be a few days before we schedule that appointment just to confirm the date. Okay, so again, their time in the future, they're usually very easy to say, yeah, we can go ahead and get that on the calendar. And then you can always tweak it, move it if you have to. Okay? And then we have Stacy, our last one.
Yeah, says my spouse handles that stuff. I would say perfect. I can reach out to them. I don't work your typical 8 to 5, so anytime would work. Just let me know when would be the best time to reach out to them. And a lot of times I probably throw in, because this has happened to me before, and I usually throw in, you're not the first person to tell me that. A lot of times it's the other spouse that deals with that, and it's completely fine. But I can, definitely reach out to them whenever's convenient. I'm free and let's set up a time type of thing.
Okay, great. Yep. Okay, so you guys are all doing a fantastic job. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you a round of applause for a job well done. Give yourselves a round of applause. You guys did fantastic. So I think we're moving on. Anybody have a question on any one of the objections that we covered that you would like to go back and have a deeper dive on or further discussion on it before we move on? Stacy, go ahead.
We go over that one again about the money. I don't remember where that one was again.
Let me turn these back over.
I think it was maybe number 6. I'm not quite sure. Might have been. Or no. I don't know.
Yeah, it's number 6.
Number 6.
Not sure why they won't turn back over for me.
Okay.
Did you?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What was it? I can't see the question. I'm sorry. All I see are the responses.
Yeah, the question.
Oh, there it goes. I got it.
I don't have any money. The reaction is the basically the response there. The beauty with my process is I can work with people before they have any money and grow with them over time. I'm here as a resource. But to Tim's point, Tim brought out a great one on that. But one of the other things we can do is work with you with budgeting. Let's take a look at your current budget and make sure that we covering the need to the real important things and see where we can maybe find some additional areas to protect the things that matter.
I'm sorry, Stacey. It took me a minute to get the screen to flip back over to the question. So
That's okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
But that's a comment. You're going to get that common objection. I don't have any money. Well, they got enough money to spend $50 a week at Starbucks. So I bet they can figure it out. Again, part of our responsibility is to make them understand the urgency and the importance of having the discussion. Because once we can have that discussion, we can explain the value of not only who we are, but the value of what we can provide and the peace of mind that we can provide to them. I refer to it as sleep insurance when I talk to my clients. My responsibility is to make sure that you are properly protected. So when you put your head on that pillow at night, regardless of what happens, auto, home, or life, I've got your back, country's got your back, and yes, you're going to have a loss, and it's going to sting a little bit, but we're here to put the pieces back together for you. Okay? That's part of our responsibility. Anybody else? Anything before I pivot it back over to Mike? We keep rolling along. All right, Mike, take it away.
All right, thanks, Tim, and great job there, Ken team. I think they should see through that. Objections are really just opportunities. The opportunities to clarify things, provide additional information, get the client comfortable with how you're working together with them to be able to help protect what matters. So now let's talk about asking for those referrals, for favorable introductions, lifeblood of our business. That's where those COIs come in. Natural markets, your existing clients, somebody having enough confidence in you to want it to share you with others to make sure that they get the same benefit value that you provided to the client that you help. And there's many different ways of going about asking for referrals. The key thing is make sure you do it. Always ask for the referrals, or also term them as favorable introductions to others, so you'll be able to help them. So in the referral process, there's different ways you can go about asking the question. We call it get to the affirmative. In other words, confirm that the client, remember before I started restate, clarifying, confirm. So similar to with the referral. Make sure that, first of all, they did find value in your process and get them to acknowledge it. So that they acknowledge that, oh, this was great. I never had anybody take the time to share with me about what I was covering in my insurance, what I had. than you. I truly, truly appreciate that and learned so much. Okay, great. So they have value in that now. When you want to be able to share me so I can help others that you care about get that same value. Now, brainstorm and pinpoint, I'm gonna kind of put those together. Brainstorm is help a client understand who might be that favorable introduction they can send you to. And what are the characteristics of them, or what's their situation like? Because here's the thing, Tina, let's face it. If you hit somebody with, hey, give me 3 or 4 people, you might give me 3 or 4 referrals, that I can help, because this is the lifeblood of our business. I want to provide that same value to them that I provided to you. Most people are gonna look at you with a blank stare, like, okay, I tell you what, let me think about that. And then get back to it. We know most often that does not happen. So what you want to do is help your clients with who that referral or that favorable introduction could be, and do it like, for instance, Tim, what was that one you talked about? What you were using what for? And then this one, what was that one you were talking about using what for?
I mean, the what ifs, or are you talking?
The what ifs, that's it. That's it. The what ifs. So analogous to Tim's what ifs, this would be like the who do you know? So in other words, who do you know that recently got married? Who do you know that recently maybe bought a new house or changed jobs, or just had a great bundle of joy in the family? You're pinpoint and helping that client. Then they'll say, oh yeah, my friend, my buddy over here, my sister over here, or my cousin over here. Matter of fact, we were just at a family reunion and they just retired. So the thing of it is, by helping them go through the who do you know that has this kind of characteristic, then allows them to be able to come up with that more natural referral or favorable introduction. Then, team, I want you to go to the next step. I want you to go to the next step is to ask your client if they would be willing to let the person know that you will be contacting them, that they will give that favorable introduction for you. They'll go before you and say, you know what? I had the opportunity to work with Tim. Tim was fantastic. He's going to be calling in the next week. I encourage you, go ahead, see what he can do for you. He provided a lot of value to me, and give them Tim's name and number, so that they know that when Tim calls, that they're looking out for him. And that's the key thing there. So you got that favorable introduction. Have them go before you if they're willing to do that, and then you'll know you'll be able to at least have the opportunity to share the value you did with that existing client. So next, we're gonna do a little who's on first. Tim and I are gonna go through. Tim, are you ready? Are you willing? And are you able?
I'm ready to shut you down, Mike. You're gonna try to sell me something. I'm gonna shut you down. See how good you are.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Hey, Tim, I really appreciate you taking some time with me. What value did you find in our discussion today?
Well, I actually did find some value in it, Mike, so I appreciate you making the time for me, because it helped me to look at things that I hadn't looked at in quite a while.
Great. As I mentioned earlier, I really enjoy doing business with people like you, and you will know the types of people who would find the work that I do to be helpful, and who might be able to get the same value out of our discussion.
I'm not sure off the top of my head. That's probably something I have to think about and get back to you.
Tim, I can certainly appreciate. I know that we don't always talk insurance with our acquaintance. By the way, who do you know that recently married, or maybe has had a great bundle of joy that they added to their family?
Well, now that you bring that up, my sister is expecting a little boy in a couple of months.
Wow, man, congratulations. Oh, cool. So you about to be a new nephew. You mind asking, what's your sister's name?
Her name is Rebecca Moore.
Oh, great, great. Do you know what's the best way to get in touch with Rebecca?
Probably her cell phone, and, I can text that over to you, it's fine, I can get it for you.
Perfect, fantastic. And you know, the other thing, Tim, I know, you know, in this day and age with all these calls, that do you mind reaching out to Rebecca and know that I'm gonna be calling her, say, next week, right around Wednesday? If you would do that, that would be fantastic.
Right. Yeah, I would probably do that, and if you could text me back your cell phone number too, just so I have it, so I can let her know. You know, when that number pops up, since it's a new number to her, she won't just send it right to junk mail, so that'd be great.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for that, Tim. I appreciate it. So team, you see, really going in there, that pinpointed brainstorming is key. Because you're helping them through who are the types of people that they can get into. Now, Tim's gonna take us through a little activity with this, what we're gonna do. So tell us what we're gonna do, Tim.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put you into breakout rooms here. And what we're going to do is have you do what Mike and I just did. We have a role play set up for you, Mike. If you could be, oh, Mike already dropped it. I was gonna say, Mike, could you drop it? You already took care of that. So you're gonna see the role play that Mike and I just walked through. It's the same role play that's on this dot. And what we want you to do is to take turns playing the role of the rep, playing the role of the client, and if there's, I think everybody at least has 3 people in the room, one room has 2, and then if you're the third person, just be the observer and to provide feedback to each other. So, and if you want to, you have the freedom in there. If you want to come up with a different, I wouldn't say necessary objection, but if you want to come up with something other than the question that we've used and have everybody use the same question, and you want to pivot into something a little bit different, that's okay too. You can take a little flexibility with this, but we want to get you comfortable doing what Mike and I just did, which is working through it, doing a little brainstorming, trying to pinpoint where you could bring value to them and work yourself through all of this process. Okay, so it's just a quick hit activity. Once I hit the go button on the breakout rooms, I'm going to give you 8 minutes to work on it. So in room 1, we're going to have Ari, Adam, and Christy. Room 2, Bill, Andrew, and Megan. Room 3, Vincent, Jeanette, and Stephen. And then in room 4, Stacy and Jimmy. So this is just an opportunity for you to get comfortable doing what we just did. And then when you come back, I'll automatically bring you back into the room after 8 minutes and put a timer on it. We'll have a brief discussion and a debrief on what you accomplished and how that went when you were playing the role of the rep. What questions do you have of me before I send you on your merry way? I'm going to take silence to mean everybody is ready. We're going to go ahead and open up the rooms. You're going to get taken out into your breakout room. And then when you're in your room, one last thing. You want to, well, no, I would just say you could pick a spokesperson, but I would really prefer to hear from as many of you that are comfortable talking. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. We can get a few of you to share with us. That would be great. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the button and we'll see you in 8 minutes.
All right.
Have fun. It's going to take you out of here in just a second.
Hey, Stacy. Oops.
Oh,
Oh.
muted.
I'm sorry. There we go. It was lip reading service today. No, I'm kidding. How are you doing? Good morning.
Hanging in there, I had internet issues this morning, at the office here. So we finally got me hardwired in. I guess, I don't know, they've been doing some internet work at the office, so something was going on.
Gotcha.
Hopefully everything's fine now. All right, so let me take a look here.
How do you keep the pictures to the slide? Or is that?
Yeah,
That's all right.
I'm used to working with multiple screens and I
Oh.
haven't brought one into my office yet. So, I really, yeah, I'm gonna bring one of my monitors in from home. That I got
Gotcha,
to keep
yeah.
from AAA. They let me keep both of them. So I'm gonna bring one in here,
Perfect.
to use in here. So that really helps out when you can move it over to the other screen.
So I guess
Okay.
I took a picture on my phone just as that little slideshow, just in case, and I was like, okay, here's my backup. So it says, process for asking referrals from a client. Get the affirmative, confirm the client's value meeting with you. So I guess you
Yeah.
want to go first?
Uh,
In regards to,
The rep client thing, we gotta like go through this. Did you pull that up out of the chat?
no, oh, let's see, the rep client, oops.
That thing. So one of us has to be the rep and the other one has to be the client. And then just like read through that, like from one person to the other. And then kind of just see how that goes and what we take away from that type of thing.
Oh, okay, I see it now. If we're all using that picture, let me see if I can move it over here. Oh, man, I don't wanna,
Size mine, I see half your face and I see this. I know.
yeah. All right, so
I'm.
referral conversation.
Oh, no, I don't wanna do that. Let's have the. Okay. Up there.
So do you want to be the client or do you want to be the rep?
I can be the client.
Okay. So let's see. Hey, as I mentioned earlier, I'd like to do business with people like you, and I know you will know the type. I guess, are we supposed to read this off or just
Oh, the referral conversation? I thought that's what we were doing.
asking
They
for
put it in here.
referrals? Yeah, no, so it's like that little PDF I have up on the same, and it says people who find the work that I do would be helpful. Who do you know that might find value in this type of discussion? And then you can say whatever. I guess I'm just reading this off of script because I don't know. I'm learning the insurance.
Yeah, I thought we were supposed to go through the referral conversation, so now I'm confused. I
Oops.
thought we were supposed to read this like prospect name, like Jimmy. I really appreciate you talking with someone, taking some time with me. What value did you find in discussing these topics today? And then I guess that
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. So I don't
Yeah.
know what you found. I don't know what you're.
It was on, and I know we got 4 minutes, so I think, let's see. Yeah, I know, pressure's on. It's asking for referrals, the language.
That's one thing, they literally don't give us enough time.
Well, on this, yeah. Brainstorm, and it says, okay, so, who do you know?
You got this. I have no idea where that's at.
Can I go back? You go back to the chat. Oh, no, it's all, if I go, we're in the chat, so we can't even go back to that. All right.
Yeah, I don't.
So
So what does it say?
So we'll just go in there like, hey, Stacy, really appreciate you taking the time with me today. What value did you find discussing these topics today? And then,
Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I'm talking
okay,
about.
that's
So you could say, yes, it was actually very helpful because I haven't looked at these things in a while.
I'll say, oh, well, as I mentioned earlier, I do business with people like you and people who find value that what I bring to the table. I'm gonna just ad-libbing some of this. I'm not gonna read it word for word. The value that I bring and I build my business by referrals. And then, and as an insurance with, wait, and it's so tiny, I can't, I got my glass, by the way. Oh, yeah. Who do you know that's recently had a baby or had a new car or any of that? Do you know of anybody that's getting ready to retire? There we go.
But yeah, my son and his fiance, they just had a new baby. And I know her mother, just retired as well. So there's a couple for you there to count to.
And congratulations on your son having a new baby and the other end, the one's retiring. So the rite of passage of their lifeline on their timeline. So,
Yeah.
and let's see, do you know your, well, do you have your son's and your phone number or and your phone system?
Yeah, and that all right here.
Awesome.
I could give you their information and, sometimes I think that a person would get kind of stuck there because they might be like, nah.
Uh-oh. We
Their
froze up.
information. So,
I know, and it's a little, I guess that's how do we get around that? Because I know, oh yeah, well, I'm not going to just give it to you. And then I was like, well, everybody has all their network. I got over 2,500 people on my phone list from just having prior gym, you know what I mean? But it was just like, it was that personal approach, and I'm very hesitant to give out certain people. I guess it's just building.
this is, how do you get around? Yeah, like with that referral like that, because like right there, I would have been stuck. I would have been like, I don't know if my son wants me to give you, I have to ask him first and see, and then it's kind of hard because it's like for them to remember to do that. I mean, how do you get around that? That's our question to them. How do you get around kind of like, some people will be like, yeah, and then maybe you could go like, maybe you could say like, okay, well, I won't reach out to them until I hear back from you to make sure that it's okay, type maybe. I don't
Gotcha.
know.
Well, I just encountered a situation like that with my bookkeeper because she does my books for my business, my martial
Yeah.
arts business. And I was like, hey, now I'm in full blown and new insurance agent. It's my business. Can I talk with your husband? And her husband deals with all that, but they don't want to cause conflict between the two of them. So, uh-oh.
Yeah. I say they should be coming back.
Oh,
Here comes the cowboy.
We teleported you out, we teleported everybody back, so I feel,
That was quick.
8 minutes goes fast, doesn't it? You get in there and you kind of get settled in. And then before you know it, we're bringing you back in here. We're gonna do another one of these a little bit later on this morning. We'll give you a little bit more time on that one. This one's kind of a real quick hit one. That's why we don't spend a ton of time on it, but I'd like to hear from at least one person in each room. So the room one, Ari, Adam, and Chrissy. Is there anybody in your room that would like to share your perspective of how that went?
Well, we've had an easy coin, so, yeah, referrals went good. I think that there's that natural progression. I think everybody kind of understood the conversation and how that progression kind of works out. And kind of doing that more handoff.
Okay, good. Anyone else from group one? Ari, go ahead.
Just to also, what I do with my referrals, and we talked about in our group, was a referral program. We give back to referrals.
Yep, I think that's a good thing to, if you wanna always be looking in today's society, it's so easy to just take your phone out, grab a number real quick from somebody or share a contact. And, and get information in front of you so you can reach out to somebody later. So I think that's a good thing to do. All right, Christy, did you have anything you wanted to share? If not, it's okay.
No, I think that's good.
Okay, all right. Room two, Bill, Andrew, and Megan.
I'll speak for us, I guess. We didn't really talk about it, but yeah, Andrew did a really good job of staying on point, and we kind of threw some different things at him, and he, stayed on point and made sure about the value he was giving, and just reminding him of the experience, and it was good. It was good. I think a good interaction.
Okay. All right, Andrew, I'd love to hear from you. So what did you do that was so awesome?
Well, come on, Billy, put me on the spot here again. No, I just,
You're doing awesome.
Yeah, no, I just kind of kept referencing, the added value that, I did with him and, looking forward, I asked for, kind of the one referral, and then after he agreed to that one referral, I kind of reminded him that I would, appreciate any future referrals for anybody that would see value in meeting with myself, and doing business with me as well.
All right, great, thank you. All right, Vincent, Jeanette, and Steven.
I was probably getting more talking than anything. It wasn't just for the referral, but no, I was going over explaining, like where I came from, because we went through the whole script and I was explaining where I came from. It was, to answer your question too, Steve, at the same time, it started out as league, but mainly it turned into 100% almost referral at the end for me. Where was that? Because that was more lucrative as far as getting new clients in, not depending on leads, depending on those warm handoffs on it. Explaining that, yeah, once you've sat here and talked maybe 10, 20, 30, maybe an hour, depending on the client that you're with, they know you, you know them, they paid you money, you know that, which is the biggest thing. They've given you their personal account information on there. And what I was explaining to them, a lot of times, salespeople will forget to ask for that referral at the end. They may have given you the referral at the beginning. They may have talked about a family member that went through a problem or something like that. But just to ask that one last question, why wouldn't they give that to you at the end? Right. And even if they give you that objection, I don't know anybody right now, I would always have ways to come up like, oh, well, I understand you can't think of anyone right now. How about we do this? Look in your phone. Who are your top 3 contacts in your phone?
There you go. I was just gonna go there. So good job. Yep.
Those are the people they talk to the most. You know, out of those, how about you go ahead and go through those, and I'm going to reach out to them. You know that I took care of you. We agreed on that. I made sure that you were taken care of. I want to do the same for them. You know, I'm not going to. Good God, they'll be calling about whatever's that time, and we can go ahead and move forward to see if I can help them out as well. So it's kind of going on that.
Yeah, so a couple of things on that. I think it's important to identify those emergency contacts and just tell them you're going to reach out to them. So if something does happen to you, that they know they can expect a call from me. Okay, so I think it's important that you do that. The other thing is, if you want to make sure you're asking for referrals, put it on the agenda. That's another trick that works. I know there are some reps that may put a $10 or $20 bill and lay it on their desk. Just say, if I forget to ask you for referrals before we dismiss this appointment, that money's for you to keep. And that'll help you remember to ask for referrals too. So all 3 of those work. All right, Stacy, you're Jimmy. One of you want to share with us?
Oh my God, that's a great idea with that $20 bill. I like that one.
Okay.
So when we went through ours, so it was really good. He, poked for, for what kind of referrals I would refer to him. And I immediately had, a couple off the top of my head right away. But then I went backwards and I was like, but wait a minute. One of them was my son and one of them was his fiance's mother because she's retired. And then my son and his fiance just had a new baby. So, but I was like, okay, so I kind of, backtracked and I was like, but wait, I don't want to, give you that information. Or I don't want to give you their information like right now because I don't know if they would appreciate that or like that or want that type of thing. How do you get over when someone does something such as me doing that, to him, in the moment, do you, because if anyone's like me, you're so busy, you walk out of that meeting, and if I was the client walking out, I mean, I could literally walk through that door and completely forget to even ask those people if it's okay if I give out their information for that referral. So how do you kind of segue that to maybe to still try to get that, because those are great leads or great referrals, I should say.
I would just, Mike, and you can chime in if you want. I would wait a couple of days, and I would even tell them, say, look, a couple of days, I'm going to check back with you to see if you've had a chance to reach out to them, so I know it's okay for me to give them a call. Okay, so give yourself a little bit of a way to keep in front of the client and give you the referrals and verify that it's good to go, and you can reach out to them. Okay? Set a reminder and just put it on your Outlook calendar 2 days out. Call Jimmy, verify I'm okay to call the referrals.
Okay. So,
Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. For time's sake, we're going to keep moving along. We got a lot of stuff to get. We're going to scoot. I'm going to turn back over to Mike. We're going to keep moving. Great job, everyone. Thank you for participating.
Yeah, fantastic. And again, team, a lot of times what you want to do, keep in contact with your information. So utilize the leads and activities that you have available, and that's the combination of working with Navigator in your client folder and contact history and those kind of things, along with the client relationship management tool, which is leads and activities. And you'll actually, we'll have a class on that a little bit later if you haven't already. I don't think you've gone through it yet. But it's coming up. Matter of fact, this week we'll have it, about where we kind of go through what the CRM system is, client relationship managers, a combination of navigator working together with the leads and activities too. So you keep your activities together, your contacts, your follow-ups, your expiration dates. And then of course your associate agents or your team members can help you with that as well. But get familiar with using the system. I encourage you to do that, so you stay on top of your activities and your contacts, and take advantage of free touch points such as email. So it's a very, very important thing that when you're doing your interview, make sure you get two very important pieces of contact information from that client: their actual email address and their cell phone number. Because with that email address, you can send out great touch points, drip campaigns, other things. We'll talk about that on Thursday. But sales process, set up, interview now. Now we're going to the part where we're going to have our meeting. We're going to be in that recommend and interview, or going through the interviews that have an agenda. You know, you just basically have an agenda. Part of the resources we're going to give you at the end. We'll give you an example of an agenda you can kind of print off. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just let the client know here's what we're going to discuss, so they see you're organized, you're focused, and going down, they can prepare for what's coming next and get a feel for that. But we'll be getting you a link to the resources where you can be able to print this off and use it. Or you can actually, an agenda create your own. It doesn't have to be all that fancy, but just help me understand what are we going to be doing today, what are we going to be talking about, so that I get a feel for that. Again, these are other resources you have: needs identified, that fact finding. One of my absolute favorites in Country Financial, the Your Life Insurance number that you have on your desktop, also known as the DIME, debt, income, mortgage, education worksheet, for helping clients understand how much income protection do they really need. Commercial quick quote for gathering BOP data for business owners' policies. And then of course, auto home worksheet. And then we also have resources such as our car packet that we'll have. And again, all of these resources that we're mentioning, you will have access to them later based on some of the links we'll put in the chat before we wrap up. Next, Tim is taking us through another activity, another appointment activity for preparing for the appointment. What we got, Tim?
All right, so I'm going to leave you in the same breakout rooms that we just had for time's sake, and we're going to work letters after the names. Those are not important. The one is the Browns, the Martins, and the Phillips, okay? And when you get into your breakout rooms, you're going to be assigned to one of those. In fact, let me do an adjustment here real quick. I can get this. I may need to just leave you in 4 rooms, and then one of you is going to have to we're going to have to double up, because I didn't get that switched over in time. So we'll make it work. So you're going to have either the Brown, the Martins, or the Phillips. There's going to be a short paragraph. What we want you to do is, after you've read that paragraph, pay attention and answer these 3 questions. How will you get prepared for that appointment? What tools or resources will you use? And what are maybe some cross-sell opportunities? Again, we're not going to give you a lot of time. I'm going to leave it at the 8 minutes that we had before. You can read through the paragraph. Once you get into the activity, the same questions that you see on the slide are going to be on the activity resource. And so you will be able to see those questions when you get into your breakout rooms. So just go ahead and work on those together. So room 1, I'm going to have you work with the Browns. Room 2 with the Martins. Room 3 with the Phillips. And room 4 with the Browns as well. Okay? So everybody knows their family they're working with, and pick one spokesperson that'll speak for the group when you come back, addressing them, maybe one or two of the questions that you reviewed and considered as you were debriefing your family, okay? Any questions from the group? Now I'm gonna hit the go button again. You're gonna go, remember, room 1, the Browns, room 2, the Martins, room 3, the Phillips, room 4, the Browns. Here we go. In 8 minutes, so 27 after you'll be coming back.
Hello again. Oh,
Okay.
hello again.
You're on.
Yeah.
Hello, hello. Okay, so.
We're the Browns. Let's see. Oop. All right.
Alright, so. Browns are friends of the family who heard you are now in the country and they'd like an auto quote. They're a younger couple about to purchase their first home and are expecting their first child in 4 months. You got some basic personal information. You originally set the appointment, which is this evening. What steps will you take to prepare for the appointment?
Well, one, having all their information in hand,
Right.
into the system. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, that would be, and just making sure that I'm prepared as opposed to
Yeah, what you've got.
the auto home.
Oh,
And then what tools and resources will you use to use the appointment? Well, the bookings appointment scheduler, I guess.
well, is the bookings, isn't that where, like the home office, like
oh,
there's a group there that schedules.
Yeah, but I guess from what I went through this yesterday is you could schedule it on there and you could add your own on there. It's on Navigator. When you go look on Navigator, it says schedule appointments. You have to do it through that in order for it to record everything, and you have to do yeah, it was a lot of information on there that where you can do it only counts for their car appointment, their client annual review. That records it and all the data in there. So I was like, that was weird. I'm gonna ask clarification on some of that with Maddie. The cross-sell opportunities I would look at is probably for an umbrella and a life insurance for the young family. And
I mean,
yeah.
definitely broker, and then their home. And then life insurance, and
Yeah. I think that was, yeah. I don't know if there's anything else to prepare. I mean, just knowing the correct info, validating verification that everything was inputted correct.
what about those sheets, those resources, those sheets that they,
Yeah, that was, yeah, the auto home.
I mean, kind of, to me, that it seems kind of weird. I mean, I guess you're gonna have it in your system though, as much as much information as you got already, and then you're just gonna kind of work off your computer and your system, I would assume.
Yep,
I mean,
or
you're not gonna sit and write it all down on a piece of paper and then, as you're sitting there with them and then turn over to your computer and then put it, you know what I mean?
right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Sometimes when you're just talking about other things that they might be interested in, I mean, you can jot down, start talking about what, what life policy would benefit.
yeah. What's
They talk about their and of course their income, and I don't know if she's gonna stay at home with the kid or, I mean, she is probably for a while. So
And you know what, even offering everything, the umbrella for them as well, to make sure that they're more than coverage for buying a new home.
sure.
Um,
And I'm kind of lost on the life insurance. I've never sold life insurance and I don't even know exactly how, I have no clue how to speak to that at this point in time,
Oh.
like what is it even,
well,
yeah.
you're in my world now, shoot. You don't want to know that side. I got that one already down. I'm probably the best at that in this whole group. But yeah, I think yeah, just having that and then looking at maybe some investments to put their have a college fund for their baby on the way, right? It's the first child in 4 months. Okay, yeah. Looking at
That you speak to this. You sound
Okay.
like you've got it down.
Uh,
How did you get good with how did you get a good overview? Or did you do life before, or was there a training you took?
just going through this. Matter of fact, I meet with another client that was from the martial arts side of my business who's coming in I'm gonna speak with my district lab or leader. She's gonna run through a life appointment, so I've never done life, and I was like, oh, well, how do you want? I don't know what the dollar amounts, and I mean, this is gonna be a new thing on here, so um, yeah, so I'm excited to see how it's actually done because my palms have been sweating through this whole time from writing all this stuff, but it's like it's just a good
Yeah, if you ever need anything, just reach out.
yeah, I
We're gonna
will.
brainstorm together. I mean, this training is way different than like when I've gone through other trainings with other companies, because I'm used to like every single word, you read a sentence and it's like, okay, this is what this means, and this is where you go here, and this is where you go there, and this is huge overview of stuff, and I feel bad for people like you,
Oh.
because it's, you know. it's
Where do
like
I go?
not-
Which buttons to press?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I'm even in that right now. I'm kind of like, well, where do I go for that again? Like,
Yeah.
not clicking. Something's not clicking with me quite yet, you know? So I did get I wrote my own auto yesterday.
Oh, cool.
So I went through that whole process and I kind of saw where the e-signature and so I kind of got one good thing like that done, you know? So, but I mean, it's just, yeah, the whole big picture, not really all clicking yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all
Yeah.
the stuff.
Well, living and learning, and if you want to learn everything what not to do, come and see me, okay? No. But I'm eager to learn, and I just yeah, just going in with an open agenda, you know what I mean? Because there's so much that
Yeah.
that
Do you have an office or are you?
I'm in
somebody?
corporate right now. They want me to
Okay.
get one, but I'm like, oh, I'm not rushing into it just yet. Oh,
All right, everybody's back. Well.
Oh my God, that was a quick 8 minutes.
It was a quick 8 right there.
Yeah, well, that was real quick, wasn't it? All right, well, we're running short on time. We got about 18 minutes, so I want to do a quick debrief on this. So from each room, so room one, any quick thoughts on what you read and based on the questions, what you think might be just one key takeaway?
We talked about going through obviously the whole home and auto quote process, looking at what they have, what they're planning to get, and then also working through potential life quotes, both for the parents as well as discussing it for when their child is born, what that could do in terms of long-term savings and growth for if they want to send their kid to college or whatever it might be.
So that's number one on the list. So that's very good. It's very thorough. A lot of good ideas, a lot of good recommendations for that. So that's good. All right, let's go to group two in the markets.
My own bird's not my group's turn, but, so real quick background, nice couple just moved in. We don't know much about it, but we're doing virtual meeting with them. I've done a lot of briefing professionally. So like something like this, I would go into like a LinkedIn or social media of sorts, try and find out the individual, what their job is, kind of cross-reference it with like a Glassdoor in the community. You can kind of estimate that the life insurance for a group is typically 2 times your annual salary. So it kind of gives you the starting point. Plus you also live in the neighborhood. So you should have an idea of what the houses cost, but you can also reference realty sites and kind of see what it actually sold for. As you prepare for all of that, you're going to have all your documents in front of you so you can take notes and jot everything down. But it all kind of leads into cross-sell opportunities. Anita's a stay-at-home mom, so she's going to need life insurance. We talked about the affordability aspect of the group. So you definitely want some outside life insurance to take care of them. One sole provider disability insurance, just in case he does lose his job through a disability. Auto, home, umbrella, take care of.
Awesome.
It's so.
Yeah, no, good, very thorough. You thought through a lot of different things with different avenues, where to gather information from, just to be prepared to when those conversations start. You've got leverage you can pull, keep the client moving forward, and hopefully getting to the point of running business. So very good. Appreciated that. All right, group 3 with the Phillips.
Well, for whatever reason, pull this up all the way, so, but essentially it was kind of the same deal on there. Going through, seeing exactly, okay, we're looking at, one lady, one child, so you're obviously gonna be looking at setting this up. My personal approach on it, and what we kind of agreed on is, hey, when we set the appointment on there, get to know the client, know exactly what they're needing on there, exactly what they have, what they're gonna value most. If it's, in this case, with being as looks like a single parent on there, they're going to value their child as well as a way to support their child. So you want to go ahead and make sure there are things set up on the financial side for them, mainly the life insurance, mainly the main things of the house being covered. Make sure there's a roof over their head. Make sure that if they purchase a house, obviously cross-sell opportunities are going to have autos on there. So autos, homeowners, all those things are going to come into play on that. So
Right.
just kind of went that direction with it.
Great job. Yes, that's it. You're spot on. So thank you with that. Appreciate that. And then group 4, back with the Browns. Stacy or Jimmy, which one you speak? Jimmy, is it you?
Yes, I'll speak. So basically just using the quote sheets forms to gather all the information and make sure it's all accurate. Using the resources from bookings to texting them to confirm their appointments when we meet in person, and then also to try to cross-sell in regards to life, umbrella, and reaching out to a financial advisor for the future child for college funds.
Okay. Yep. And the other thing, Mike brought this up earlier, and even if you're, as an insurance agent, we would recommend once you get a little comfortable, maybe 6 months in, start looking into the referral agent opportunity, and then you can work with another financial advisor within your agency or outside your agency that can help you keep that financial business in-house with you and with Country, okay? So with that, I'm gonna turn it back over to Mike. We're gonna keep charging along.
All right, great job, everybody. Great job. Appreciate that. And again, help your clients put together a program that protects them. So now let's talk about the client commercial. Remember, we kind of compared and contrast the elevator speech to the client commercial. The client commercial now goes into more depth about what you actually do, how you actually work, the process you're taking that client through as you go through the interview and building the solution for them based on their needs, wants, and desires. So what we're going to do, I'm putting in the chat a sample client commercial that you can have. You can go ahead and pull that out, but it just goes through giving you the example of what you do as a rep in terms of how you're working that together. The things letting your client know on that client commercial, on that script that you have there, on the back of that, toward the end, you'll see like a sample script. Go ahead and then you'll fill that out on your own. Make it your own. A lot of it's already filled in for you, but you can just kind of customize some of the things as you develop your own. Many of you earlier when you were sharing with us, your elevator speech, you included very key component parts of what you would want to include in your client commercial, which frankly, T, if your elevator speech was about 20 to 30 seconds, client commercial should be no more than about 2 or 3 minutes. So again, it's not a long dissertation, but just again, a really value summary of what you're going to provide for that client going forward. And then, you know, where you position it in your process in the agenda. So if you're meeting with them, one of your agenda items would be, well, I'm going to just share with you my client commercial. Give you a feel for how I work with my clients and the value it will provide you. And go through that and you do that. But again, part of that agenda we talked about using earlier. Now, at this particular point, Tim, do you have this ready or do you want me to go grab it?
Well, I was just gonna try to hit the button on the screen. Think that'll work?
That will not work.
Are you sure? Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna take them out somewhere. So what we wanna do, T, we gonna put it, in the chat, the link for the client commercial, and we're gonna watch it all in place. I'm gonna put this in there. And go ahead and click on the video in the chat. We'll all watch it in place. And then we'll come back once you've got a minute or two or so has gone, then we'll come back together. And then just kind of review what you saw there. But watch it in place. Go ahead, it's about a couple of minutes and do that. So just click on the dot on the screen, but actually in the chat box. So go ahead and play the video.
I know both of your times are valuable, so I appreciate it. How familiar are both of you with Country Financial's family of companies? Not very. Okay, that's fair. I'd like to show you what makes Country Financial unique and how we can help you achieve your insurance and financial security goals. What I do for my clients is I try to offer solutions that are specific and unique to you. I start off by listening to what's important to you. That's going to help create a vision for the future. Once I have that vision, I can then offer you both some options. Those options is what's going to give you confidence to make decisions that are going to affect not just today, but also the future. I think we all know that we can't anticipate what's going to happen. You can have another baby, buy a new house, change careers. With all those changes, plans are going to need to change. And I'm going to be there with you to make sure those plans stay on target for you. Let me show you how Country goes on that. Country Financial started in the 1920s, real emphasis on personal service. And that same thing holds true today. In fact, both Country Life Insurance as well as Country Mutual Insurance is rated A+ superior by AM Best. That's just an independent industry rating company. I think our strength comes from our longevity, even through some pretty tough economic times. Our clients find confidence in the many ways that we can offer financial security. I want to go over a few of those. And see here we have life insurance. That's what's going to protect your legacy when you're no longer here. We also offer health insurance, some specialty products. We have our personal lines like our auto insurance, home insurance, which we'll talk about later. Country has a long history of helping small business owners with commercial policies as well as farmers with activist policies. Now, I mentioned before that I want to make sure I offer solutions that are unique to you. So if you ever need anything that you don't see listed here, just let me know and I'll be sure to connect you with someone who can help out. After going through all of this, how do you both feel about going forward with Country Financial? Great. Let me show you what we see.
Team, on my end, I'm done, so you all should be done as well. What do you think? Go ahead and give me some thoughts on how did you feel it did?
I think you did a good job on explaining exactly what they're dealing with and the emphasis on how long they've been around. So they're not just a fly-by-night company or somebody that's just a startup that's trying to help them out. They're dealing with an established company and they can put their trust in them. That's what I got out of that.
Absolutely. Short, sweet, to the point, focused, but focused on what we do in their process to help them. So great job, everybody. Great job. Incorporate that in yours. You'll build it, as Tim mentioned, over time. You'll build your own to be suited to your needs. So with that said, Tim, our last activity of the day, what are we gonna do here?
All right, there's a real quick question in the chat box from Andrew. Andrew, this would be a formal sit down. You go through the setup step. We're kind of into the interview step at this point where we're sitting down and the client's coming in for an appointment. And this is your way of, yes, you told a little bit about yourself in the elevator speech, but this is in the interview step where you're selling your value statement to the client. Okay? Hope that answers your question.
All right. Good deal, good deal. So, okay, Tim, what are we doing with, the client commercial? I know we don't have, we definitely don't have 10 minutes, so we're really gonna just take about 3 minutes, I guess, and do this, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, why don't you take a few minutes, kind of maybe jot some thoughts down. We don't really have time for you to kind of practice with us, but why don't we just take a few minutes, start maybe organizing it in your brain, what you think it would look like, what you would want to incorporate into your client commercial, then practice that on your own. Or overnight, and just get comfortable sitting down with a client across the table from you. So take a couple minutes, do that, and then we'll get back together. All right, Mike, I'm gonna turn back over to you. This is something you can keep working on, building as you get more comfortable or become more confident. I would recommend you practice with your DL, practice with family, talk to the mirror, but just get comfortable understanding what it is you want to share and the value you want to bring as you're opening up your appointments and selling them not only on country, but on you. Remember, the first thing they buy is you. They buy the insurance company behind you when they have a claim or they have a situation or a problem, a billing issue. That's when they buy the company. But first and foremost, they're buying you. So sell for yourself and the value you can provide. All right, Mike.
All right, spot on. And team, as we wrap up, these are the resources we had promised we were gonna share with you. Go ahead, take some a look. And a lot of these, especially the first one, the resource is gonna give you a lot of the things we talked about. You also got the sales growth toolbox in there. Country club contest, as a reminder, get off to a fast start, grow your agency with a sense of urgency. A Lego, we'll be talking about that next, but also like to throw a couple of things in there where we had the handling objection. Click the note that can help you with the things as you're going through building your knowledge and your strength of what we can offer at Country Financial. a Lego. This is an opportunity you have to create videos and practice. And this activity is on handling objections. So about how to handle objections, you do that. You can video yourself and you can do that. Just get you comfortable with practice and then so you hone your skills.